League action returns this week after the conclusion of the second international break this season. Here are my championship predictions for game week 12. We start off on the Friday night where Rotherham United are taking on Ipswich Town at the New York Stadium. Rotherham United picked up a 1-1 draw against Southampton in their last game. They do tend to make it hard for their opponents, but I can only see one winner in this one. That's Ipswich Town. The most recent victory, 4-2 win over Preston North End. And when you have a look at where they are in the league table, themselves and Leicester absolutely running away with it. I am going to back Rotherham to get one. Ipswich, they do tend to leak a couple of goals, and Rotherham do tend to find a way. But as I said, only one winner in this one for me. I'm going to go for a 3-1 away win for Ipswich Town. Next up, on to Deepdale for the 12:30 kickoff on the Saturday. Preston North End taking on Millwall. Preston North End, 3 defeats on the bounce, although they did come to 3 pretty tough opponents: West Brom, Leicester and Ipswich. As I mentioned above, 4-2 defeat against Ipswich in our last game. Opponents Millwall in this one, picking up a 2-2 draw against Hull City in their last game. I think Preston North End, they can get back to winning ways after the international break. They've had time to regroup, back at home for this one. I'm going to go for a 2-1 home win for North End in this one. And then we move on to Ewood Park, where Blackburn Rovers are taking on Cardiff City. Blackburn Rovers putting 4 past Queen's Park Rangers in their last game in that 4-0 victory over them. Cardiff City picking up a 1-1 draw against Watford. This one is going to be a close one. I'm going to go for a draw in this one. Both sides are going to have to settle for a point. I'm going to go 2-2. We move on to Ashton Gate, where Bristol City are taking on Coventry City. Bristol City narrowly losing out in their last game against Leeds United in that 2-1 defeat. Coventry City picking up yet another draw, a 1-1 draw against Norwich City. This one, it can only end in a draw, this one, really. I'm going to go for a 1-1 in this one. Really only the likely result. We move on to the John Smith Stadium, where Huddersfield are taking on Queen's Park Rangers. Huddersfield, a 0-0 draw against Sheffield Wednesday in their last game. Pretty boring game. Queen's Park Rangers, as I mentioned above, 4-1 defeat against Blackburn Rovers. I think Queen's Park Rangers will be able to pick up some points in this game. I know both sides haven't been that impressive so far this season, but I am going to go for an away win for Queen's Park Rangers in this one, a 2-1 away win. Next up, we move on to Hull against Southampton. Haven't really been impressed by Southampton so far this season. Obviously, them coming down from the Premier League last season, I think quite a few people expected more from them. Hull City, they've been impressive so far this season, currently in 9th place. I'll go for a draw in this one, another one. Go for quite a few goals in this one, though. I'll go for a 2-2 draw. Once again, I just think this game's going to end all square. Both sides to pick up a point apiece. Next up, Middlesbrough against Birmingham City. Could we finally be seeing the return of the Middlesbrough we saw last season? 4 wins on the bounce, beating Sunderland 4-0 in their last game. Birmingham City, obviously, Wayne Rooney's first game in charge for the Blues. I suppose you could say their season's been a success so far. I mean, they are currently in 6th place. Picked up a 3-1 victory against West Brom in their last game. Each team will drop in and out of form all season, but it will be interesting to see where Birmingham City finish under Wayne Rooney. I'm going to back the home side in this game, though. I think it'll be a close one, but I think I'm just going to edge it to Middlesbrough for a narrow 1-0 win. Next up, we move to Carrow Road, where Norwich are taking on Leeds United. Norwich picking up a 1-1 draw against Coventry in their last game. Leeds United defeating Bristol City 2-1. I know Norwich's form hasn't been the greatest as of late, but we're going to see a good game here, although I am going to back the away side to pick up all 3 points, back both sides to score, but I'm going to go for a 3-1 away win to Leeds United. Next up, we move on to the Bet365 Stadium, where Stoke City are taking on Sunderland. Stoke, currently in 21st place, just outside the relegation zone. What's going wrong for them? Brought in 15 plus transfers, and yet they're almost in the relegation zone. On the other hand, Sunderland doing really well, currently 4th place. I know in their last game, 4-0 defeat against Middlesbrough, but they'll be looking to bounce back from that. And they're a top side, Sunderland. I think they can demolish this Stoke side, and especially after a defeat, they'll want to bounce back. I'm going to go for a 3-0 away win for the Black Cats in this one. We move on to Swansea, where Swansea are taking on Leicester City. Both sides in some good bit of form here, although at the end of the day, it is Leicester City. Over the past years in the Championship, we've had teams that are first place like Fulham or Hull City. But then when you have a team like Leicester City and the squad that they still have and the money that they have spent in the transfer window, obviously they had it from the Maddison sale, they're just a completely different side compared to our usual bog standard first place in the Championship. So yeah, I'm going to back Leicester City to pick up all 3 points in this one. Nice, comfortable 2-0 win. I don't think there'll be many teams that are going to be able to stop Leicester City this season. But we move on to Vicarage Road, where Watford are taking on Sheffield Wednesday. Both sides not in the greatest of form. Obviously, Sheffield Wednesday still yet to pick up their first victory of the season. Currently bottom of the table. Watford, 20th place. What's happened to them? Not used to seeing them down there at all. Too many managerial changes. But there is a chance for Watford to pick up all 3 points in this game. And if they don't, then it's not looking good for them at all. I'm going to go for a 2-1 home win, though, for the Hornets. Should be an easy win. We move on to the final game, where West Bromwich Albion are taking on Plymouth Argyle at the Hawthorns. Both of these sides losing 3-1 in their last games. West Brom losing 3-1 against Birmingham City. Plymouth Argyle 3-1 defeat against Swansea City. There's been a lot of high-scoring games that have involved Plymouth Argyle this season, whether or not they've been the team that have been scoring all the goals or conceding all the goals. So I'm going to go for a high scorer in this one. I'm going to back the home side in this one, but I'm going to hope for a load of goals. I'm going to go for a 3-2 win for West Bromwich Albion to wrap up my Game Week 12 score predictions. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are not already. I'll see you all in my next video.